Here's another channel I watch a lot, the Game Show Network. I love this one because they show all the shows from the 70s and 80s that I used to watch all the time. There's one thing, though, you never saw back in the 70s and 80s. You never saw any black game show hosts. Ooh, did you hear that? That was not the air conditioner kicking on. It is every white butthole in the room going at the same time. Because Whitey is up here talking about something like that. I can't talk about things like that on stage, but Chris Rock can. He could come across the stage and go, you ever notice that back in the 1970s, there were no brothers hosting game shows? You want to know why? Because a brother wasn't gonna give away shit. If you wanted to get something free from a brother, you were gonna have to rob his ass. He wasn't playing no games, he'd be like, it's mine now, cracker. I got an idea for a game show. Check it out. A brother walks down the alley late at night with a briefcase. Does he got a $50,000 worth of money or a gun in that motherfucker? You know what I'm gonna call it? Steal or no steal. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Should I steal that brother's dough? I don't think so. Thank you very much, white people. Thanks, man. Whew, that wore me out, man. I'm tired. Woo, I need a nap.
That was a lot of energy.
Thank you, guys. Give yourselves a round of applause. Come on. Yeah. Woo.
So how cool is this, man? I told you we were going to put this
cool.
together.
You told me about this a couple of years ago, and I was like, all right, whatever. Right. But this is pretty cool, man.
Yes, sir. I do want to ask you one thing, though. Tell us about the benefit last week. Tell us what all that was about.
Well, my mother was a Relay for Life, what do you call it? I can't think of the word, supporter and fundraiser for years. And she got cancer, and then, you know, she survived it, and then she kept doing it, and then cancer finally took her life. And when she was, you know, getting towards the end, she was, who's going to take over the fundraising? I'm like, I said, I'll do it, but I'll do it a little different. We'll do a comedy show. I had music, comedy show, raffle. And it started out, and it's grown every year. We're sold out the last 2 years, and we raised over $7,500 right now. As far
Big
as
round of applause for them, man.
And thank you for being part of that, man. Yeah,
Absolutely,
he was there.
absolutely. It was a pleasure. I do want to know, the whole thing about us doing the show, Get On Stage, I want young comics, like Ryan has been doing it for about a year and a half.
I'm an
a
old
little bit
bastard,
longer,
man.
Ryan, I think.
I'm
Anyway,
old.
I know, you were doing this when I was doing it back in the day.
Yeah.
We never ran across each other back in the day, but I remember hearing from you, from Jack Warren, all them guys. So when was the first time you went on stage, and how did you know that this is what you want to make your career out of?
It was February 22nd, 1995. On Augusta Road in Greenville, South Carolina, there was a Holiday Inn and it had Max Comedy Scene.
That's where I started.
Max Comedy Scene,
Yes.
right? And it was on the, and I did I'd gone there to scope it out, and I was like, I always wanted to do it. And then my friend Mike, he helped me write a few minutes of material. And the first bit I ever did on stage was Howard Cosell covering the OJ trial.
Oh, nice.
It had a Howard, and then it was like Peter Falk was Mark Furman, Ross Perot was the prosecutor, and Reverend Jim was Cato Kalin, I think. You know, and they got closed with a Seinfeld versus Andy Rooney bit or something like that.
So do you have a favorite joke that you like to tell?
Well, yeah, I actually have a clean joke.
Okay.
But I like to do it as Jimmy Stewart.
Well, be our guest. Go ahead.
I'll sit right here and I'll do it. Well, it goes a little like this, ladies and gentlemen. Little Red Riding Hood was going through the forest, and she came across the big bad wolf, and he was crouched down behind a rock. And she walked over about, well, my Mr. Wolf, what big eyes you have. Well, he looked up in disgust, and he runs off. Well, she comes upon him a few minutes later. He's crouched down behind a tree. Hey, Mr. Wolf, what big teeth you have? Well, he looked up in disgust again, and he ran off. Well, finally, there's that wolf again. He's crouched down behind a bush. Well, hey, Mr. Wolf, she says, that's how she said it. She's Mr. Wolf because she's a very polite young girl. But she goes to visit her grandmother. Of course, she's going to be that's a good girl. Well, she said, Mr. Wolf, what big claws you have. And he finally looked up and goes, young girl, do you mind? I'm trying to poop. So, a good poop joke.
I appreciate you being on the show. What we're going to do now is we're going to wrap up here. Ladies and gentlemen, later on, we're going to have 7-Year Witch on the show. Another big round of applause for our first guest, Mr. Chris dubail.